one evening as the sun went down and our cooking coals were glowing. Down the path came a party hiking, and they said, folks, we're all going. We're yearning for a portal far away in a tavern full of shouting. So join us, friends, and let's descend deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain. There run dungeons hot and cold, where the monsters surge and pushes, and the youngest runes are old, where the mimics all lie waiting, and the goblin werebats roost, all the wisps and wasps and the mezzo-lost, the hidden pit where we'll all plummet deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, all our blades will sing like choirs, as our arrows strike like drum beats, and our green flame pops and pyres. Our barbarian will stomp a brood as the rogues dance shadow play. Oh, we're sworn to go at a great tempo, we'll chant our spells as we now delve deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, you'll always find new gear, and your old mundane accoutrement can be handed down, don't fear. The magic items you'll attune and the artifacts you'll find. There's armor with gems and weird potions and a propeller hat that lets you ascend deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, the mad wizard stood gates so folks can open portals. He left clues to activate. He has a thing for puzzles, and he likes to throw his voice. We're going to delve to where he dwells, to the lowest tower, to seek his power deep into Undermountain. I'll see you there, the lowest lair, deep into Undermountain.
The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawl out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, y'all, on my live streaming audience, I'm fading in, slowly, down here in the lower left. Thanks to the folks that tipped on this morning's stream. This is a viewer-supported simulcast. We are currently streaming the precise same video and audio to twitch.tv, YouTube, and joehills.net/live. If you want to support the show, tips are welcome via paypal.me/joehills and YouTube Super Chat. I gotta tell you, with some disappointment, Cleo warned me. Cleo said, Joe, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up, Joe. We all know that you're not going to succeed. We all know you're going to fail, Joe. But I didn't want to believe Cleo. I never want to believe Cleo when she says I'm going to fail. I had weeks to try to get express written permission to simulcast to Twitch and YouTube. I don't know if y'all heard, but Twitch just announced a few weeks ago that they're changing their terms of service. So even if you're not a partner or not an affiliate, if you are just a general streamer on Twitch, you cannot simulcast the same stream to Twitch and YouTube. So, since I have failed, I admit it, Cleo was right, I failed. I tried whatever I could figure out to try to get somebody at Twitch to give me express written permission, and they won't even talk to me. Twitch will not even talk to me. They won't even say, no, you can't have permission. No, that's not what the permission is for. The permission is for these people who are doing nonprofit work in the sciences or something. No, that written permission to simulcast is for government agencies promoting space launches. You know, I would get that. But they won't tell me that. They will not tell me that. They won't tell me. I've been tweeting at Twitch and Twitch support. I've tried going through their support system. There's no way for me to even find somebody who can tell me whether I qualify or not. And so we are no longer going to be simulcasting to Twitch, YouTube, and joehills.net/live. So if you haven't already bookmarked joehills.net/live, you can do that now. I'm going to post that here. Because you know what? YouTube, at the same time, is cracking down on ad blockers. They're like, oh, if you run ad blockers, we might try to prevent you from watching video. And that's nonsense. Everyone should use ad blockers, as many as they want. So I'm going to try continuing to send my video to YouTube. And I'm going to try sending something else to Twitch. I can't send this to Twitch because they don't want it. Twitch said, Joe, don't send us the same thing you're sending YouTube. But you know what? Here's the thing. Is I tried sending... Previously, I had tried some stuff. We had done some experimentation. I can stream in 4K from this computer. But Twitch won't accept it. YouTube will. So, we might actually see a quality bump for those of y'all with 4K televisions and fast internet. I'm not sure if I can get that turned around tomorrow, but those of y'all watching on YouTube and joehills.net/live will probably be seeing, instead of a 6 megabits a second 1080p stream, 20 megabit a second 4K stream. Now, you can still ratchet that down to like 360p or whatever if you're on your phone or whatever. But you know what? Twitch has decided to unshackle me. They had the inferior technical platform. They wouldn't let me stream at 4K when I was trying to do that. Because I had the ability to stream 4K to YouTube, but I can't simultaneously downgrade the signal to Twitch without other problems. So, Technologic says, what if you stream to Twitch a window capture of your YouTube stream? Wouldn't that be... That would be... that's close enough to a simulcast. Technologic. Let's talk about what is a simulcast. If y'all have ever seen the President of the United States give a speech from the Oval Office, what they normally do, or from like certain like wings of the White House for big events. Let's just roll this back here. Let's roll this back. There's a lot of legal understanding of what is and is not a simulcast. Trio Salad, I am literally streaming on YouTube and joehills.net/live right now. I'm already streaming multiple places. I don't need to go deal with some crypto site garbage. Like, guys, the people who own Kick are not reputable. And I'm not going to work with them. I didn't work this hard to make my own way to take their money. Although that does mean that I really, really, really need y'all's money. So tips are welcome via paypal.me/joehills and YouTube Super Chat. Because I'm spinning up self-hosted solutions to things. I'm solving problems by purchasing additional equipment. But one of the problems I'm solving by purchasing additional equipment... Once again, let's return to the definition of a simulcast. When the president gives a talk from the Oval Office, he might be like, my fellow Americans, I regret to announce today the sinking of the battleship, blah, 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 in, blah, blah, blah. Like that sort of thing, right? What they do for that is they have one camera and one microphone, and they just give all the networks access to the same feed. ABC, NBC, CBS, they're all running the same simulcast of this news from the Oval Office. However, when the president gives an address at, say, Rice University, the football stadium of Rice University, or the auditorium, is not quite so limited in terms of, like, electrical capacity as, say, the Oval Office, right? So if you have ABC with one camera and one microphone on the podium, NBC with a camera 3 feet away from ABC's, separate microphone on the podium, CBS, third microphone on the podium, additional camera 3 or 4 feet away from ABC and NBC's, that is no longer a simulcast. That is now 3 distinct broadcasts. So I will no longer be able to simulcast to Twitch. That's okay. I'll improve my quality to 4K with a better bitrate. YouTube and joehills.net/live quality are going to go way up. Now, what happens to Twitch? I can't simulcast to them. I can't send them that good data, because even if I sent them that 4K 20 megabit a second data, they're like, no, 1080p 6 megabit a second, please. We're Amazon here. We can't handle a river of data like that. Oh no. So what happens to Twitch? Can't simulcast. Can't rebroadcast, which some people are like, put it on a delay, tint it. No, if I'm taking the same camera and the same microphone and I'm just like making it look ugly or distorting it somehow, that's still a rebroadcast. That's just a poorly done rebroadcast. And you know what? No. If Twitch doesn't want the same show that everybody else gets, they don't get the same show. So things might get a little bit interesting with the data we send Twitch. I don't know if anybody saw the stream that Quinn and I did where I held up my phone so we could live stream. Oh, actually, hey, why don't we do this now? If I open up the Tumblr app on my phone here, and let's see, is there a go live button? Go live. Give it a second. No nudity or pornography, no hate speech or bullying, no illegal activity, and no minors. I agree to the terms of service. Sure. So start. Hi. See, now, if you go to my Tumblr page right now, there is no preparation for this. I did not know I was going to do this right now. This is a terrible idea. This is not a flattering angle. No part of this was planned well. But let me see if I can find this tumblr.com/joehills live feed to post. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to have the audio feedback following through. But, boom. See, this is not a simulcast. What I am doing in Minecraft over here, let's say that I'm over here. What am I doing in Minecraft? Oh, I got to replace a bunch of these things with other things. I'm going to go do that. La-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so we get our axe out. We got our thing. Now, maybe the viewers on tumblr.com/joehills aren't going to go have the best viewing experience. Sorry, Elefire. Sorry, Sun-Dappled Moss, Golden Tetrapod, Kamakun. Apologies to Mahi's Zero, not Owo, just Mahi Zero. Apologies. You're not going to get the same experience over here in the, what do you call it? Technologic says, Tumblr Live may not be available in your home country. Well, the thing is, I'm not planning on doing this to Tumblr Live in the thing. This is just an example. This is an example for the people who are watching me on Twitch right now of the sort of thing that you might be able to watch on Twitch in the future. Except, this is from my phone. This is me pressing a button and going live from my phone. But what didn't I just spend a bunch of money on equipment for taking this show on the road? Didn't I just go buy a second XLR to USB interface so I could, in theory, have like, oh, what's this? A second boom mic over, oh gosh, that is not, okay. Yeah, Quinn messed with this. I could have a second boom mic. Oh my gosh, this is not secured at all. Come on, tighten these things. Core concept here. It's like a hat for the mic. We could have two mics, one of which is in this computer, one of which is in a different computer. We could have a second camera, which instead of being in my cellular telephone, is in a different computer. This is not simulcasting. This is a different broadcast. It's not the same. Is the Twitch broadcast going to be as good? No. Straight up, it will not be as good, because Twitch caps the bitrate at 6 megabits a second and 1080p. YouTube, I can do 4K and 20 megabits a second. And I have not been doing that up until this point, even though my internet providers, like, I couldn't do that on the road. When I go to hotels, when I'm traveling for conventions, you're not going to get a 4K 60 frame a second stream. So calm down. But when I'm here, Gracewinder says, wouldn't the video data from the game be the same, though, since you said filters don't work? The other computer wouldn't have the game on it. This is the computer with the game on it, Gracewinder. This is a different computer. So if I'm getting a separate USB interface and a separate camera plugged into a separate computer, I'm not going to do video capture of this game. The Twitch stream will not be as good. It will not be a simulcast, because that is what the Twitch.television Corporation, a subsidiary of Amazon, your friend in the South American River, wants us to have. That's where we're at. Let's real quick go to the tip jar. We got an incredible tip rolling in. Let's see, we were looking at the abacus here at 40. And then Toxic Glitter tips 200 and says, happy 4th, too lazy to come up with a clever, and then there's not even a last word. So I'm guessing that was supposed to be a clever pun or joke, whatever. Either way, we got some face camera expansions to do. So, what if do we want to show a face camera expansion cam? Would that even work? My God, he's gone mad. Anything could happen. What are we going to do with this other camera? If I put it, is there a switch views mode? No, that's make it smaller. That's invite somebody. Is that invite somebody else? Yeah, that's add a guest. What is this? Nope, that's invite viewers. I don't want to invite viewers and next guest. Is there not, like, legitimately a way to just flip the camera around? How is there no way to flip the camera around on this? That's, like, a fundamental, like, thing of... Okay, so I'm just going to point the camera here with it tucked under my chin. Does it turn sideways if I do that? Maybe. Okay. Okay. That's not a good way to do this. Okay. So what if I do this? Okay. So here we go. We got 10 face camera expansions coming in. Here we go. Expand. Can you see my hand? You can't see my hand. That's like the 90%. Where's my hand? It's on the other side. Expand Joe. Do. Numero dos. Expand Joe. Da 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 dee. For number 5, we gotta get the chains. Where are the chains? Chains are on the floor over here by the Duplo boat and the guitar pick. Welcome to whatever this is. Okay, so now these chains I forged in life are about to begin pulling me down to the deep below. Enter the shows. Bum 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 bum. Lowering the Joe Pasty down to 90%. So that was numero trace 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how we expand some more. Lowering the Joe Basti now to 80%. Da 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 da. Numero cinco. How about some more, Joe? Do 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 do. Bringing us to 70%. And then for number 6, here we go. Do 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 dee. Lowering the Joe Basti now to 60%. We're at T. Joe Eckhilsberg. Can you guys see any of this? Is this in frame? I don't even know. I can't watch the... Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, I can see the camera now in the OBS. Okay, great. Now I can see what I'm pointing at. Okay. So we want it to be about there. Can you see the mouse moving? Maybe. Okay. Number 7. Expanding to T. Joe Eckhilsberg heaven, I guess. Da 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 do. Numero ocho. Now even more Joe. Do 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 dee. Lowering the Joe Basti now to 42%. I can tell now that I've actually got to increase the resolution of this camera. You can see here, maybe, I don't know. It wasn't all the way up. So we're going to do that. That'll make it sharper. Number 9, it's time. Do 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 do. Yeah, if this is the last stream on Twitch, it's definitely not going to be a normal one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 expansions. Blah. Lowering the Joe Basti to 24%. Thank you very much to our good pal, longtime friend of the show, server operator Toxic Glitter for that 2 hundo. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. So, am I still live on Tumblr? I honestly can't see the phone, so I don't know. Probably. Am I... Corgi Chow on Tumblr says, this is an insight into the Joe Hill streaming experience I didn't even know I wanted. Mahi Zero Woe says, this is so bad, it's amazing. Yeah, Queen Dark Lady, thank you for the point. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm not showing the other screen. The only person whose name would have shown up there is somebody whose name is already, like, publicly out there in the community, though. So, even if I did screw that up, I did that in a non-nuclear situation. Okay, so, what are we doing? Minecraft. So, okay, I'm gonna put this back here now. You can see up there, there's all this random stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this room. There's like a hamper in the upper left there full of my daughter's old stuffed animals I use for sound dampening. Okay. Okay. Might have to start working out more if y'all are going to be able to see me physically. Okay. Miss Goldfox says, maybe I didn't find your right account. I linked it above. I can relink it. Maybe? Joe Hills, what is it? Tumblr.com/Joe Hills, and then I click live. Yeah, here it is. Weiss Belladonna. Just a completely average stream here tonight. Nothing to see. Move it along. Okay. I'm gonna move this monitor so I can get that angled better. This is not optimal, as the kids would say. Okay. We are not getting a lot of Minecraft done right now. Okay, at all. Okay, so here we go. Just as a reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Joe's probably breaking all sorts of records on Tumblr right now because nobody uses Tumblr Live. Well, it actually shows that only 22 people are watching on Tumblr Live, so I'm not that worried. It's only available in the US right now. Well, there was a guy there. Well, like I said, this is not the experience. We're not going to be streaming this on Tumblr every night. This is an example of how you do two different broadcasts at the same time without simulcasting. So the folks at the Twitch Corporation have said they don't want a simulcast of my YouTube show. I will not burden them with one. They're going to end up with nonsense closer to along these lines. Now, I am going to have a second, like, this microphone here is not actually plugged into the, this is not plugged into the phone over here. The second microphone is not plugged into the phone, whereas when I get the second computer set up, for the other stream, there will be an actual, like, second computer streaming the audio, or streaming the video and the audio, so that'll be fine. McAdoo2222, an expert in the number 22, writes, yeah, 22 is probably an all-time record for Tumblr Live. Yeah, we're up to 26 now. Etra10 says it's the first time I've ever watched anything on Tumblr Live. Yeah, well, glad to have you. Welcome to whatever this is. Gestures broadly. This is kind of nice because even once I'm in eyeball mode, I can kind of gesture broadly. So, the Twitch cam will not show the expansions. The Twitch cam, I'm not going to be able to mess with the second computer on the fly. So that stream is going to be kind of a better angle than what you're seeing on the Tumblr thing. But it'll be more like, it'll be a fixed view of my body, at least. So you'll get to see me streaming live. You'll get to see more of my body language, which, you know, I know some of y'all, you hate when my eyes get big because you can't see my arms. You're like, wait, is one of those arms injured? That could be anything. Oh no. Why? Why is there a bandage there? Ooh, it's a mystery. Actually, it's not. I had to go get a booster today. Well, I didn't have to. I chose to. But, yeah. The tech at the pharmacy was just like, you know, I was like, hi, I'd like to get a COVID booster. She's like, okay, you just need to fill out this form. I fill it out. And she's just like, which booster do you want? And I'm like, oh, most pharmacies only carry one, so I was just going to take whatever you guys had. And she's like, no, you get to choose. I'm like, awesome. Which of them do you recommend? And the tech is like, I cannot make those recommendations. I'm like, okay, that's no problem then. I'll just take whichever one's the most recent. And she's like, they were both approved at the same time by the FDA. I'm like, okay. I don't care then. Just give me either one. Whichever one is easier for y'all. And she's like, you have to name one. And I'm like, okay. You still haven't told me which ones you have. Can you tell me which ones you have so I can pick from that list? Because I don't want to pick one you don't have, and then you're like, oh no, you need to go across town for that. Because I just filled out all this paperwork. I am here and I'm trying to get this done. Professor Red Fox says, hypothetically, if you had a green screen behind you, would superimposing the game you're playing onto the screen be simulcasting, or would that be part of your completely separate broadcast? I would want... Every camera should be different. Every audio source should be different. Ideally, Professor Red Fox. Because otherwise, it's just a rebroadcast of the same game footage. It's in a different context, but it's still a rebroadcast, right? To be 100% in the clear, I cannot take my YouTube... I cannot take the gameplay footage I'm showing on YouTube and show it on Twitch. Even if I recontextualize it. I don't want to argue... Like, Twitch has made it clear that they don't want to have a conversation with me. And so, I'm just going to assume that they're going to be as strict as possible with me. If they wanted to play nice, they would have already been playing nice. So, I'm just going to take this to its logical extreme. You know, I don't want anyone to be able to claim that I wasn't compliant with their terms of service change. Like, if they wanted me to trust them, they would have talked to me. I have been trying, and they have not replied. I don't know what to do. other than to stop simulcasting. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to simulcast. I'm not going to rebroadcast. That might be the better viewer experience, but that is not Twitch's priority. But like I said, even if you don't like YouTube, even if you don't, because you know what? Maybe you don't want any ads. Once again, I am going to be simulcasting my YouTube stream to joehills.net/live. So you can watch everything completely ad-free there. I'm going to post that link again for you to copy and bookmark. Or Mitchie, I'm not moving over to some other thing. I've been simulcasting. I have been simulcasting to joehills.net/live and youtube.com/joehillstsd for a long time. I've been simulcasting to YouTube and Twitch for years, and I added this other service that I'm self-hosting like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I have been simulcasting for a long time. I'm not moving. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm switching to something else. I'm having to cut out one of the things I already offer. That's really frustrating. This is, like, some people are like, oh, I'm switching to Kick. It's like, I was already streaming in 3 places, and now I can only stream in 2. So that's what I'm doing. No, I know you didn't mean anything bad. I'm just, like, clarifying for anybody. A lot of people are probably new. A lot of people probably don't know that. That's a fine thing to point out. I'm just letting you know, like, what the reality of the situation is. The reality of the situation is, I'm gonna be streaming something to Twitch, but it won't be a simulcast. And unfortunately, it won't be as good as the simulcast. Because basically, if I have to choose 2 out of the 3 networks to get the, I can either send the good video to Twitch, or I can send the good video to YouTube and joehills.net/live. And neither of the other 2 endpoints are forcing me to change anything, so they're gonna get the high-quality 4K video, and Twitch is gonna get whatever nonsense I can pull off with whatever equipment I have on a second computer, without the first-person gameplay. Like, so, yeah, it's very frustrating to me. You know? I'm not gonna artificially cap the Twitch footage quality, but I might not be able to have it be as good just because of computer webcam capture limitations, right? Like, it is very frustrating. I thank you. It is very frustrating. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to be a good citizen of the internet by making my show available to people from all over the world, whether or not their local places block YouTube or Twitch or whatever. And Twitch just doesn't want to play. Twitch wants exclusivity for particular broadcasts, so Twitch will indeed earn the most particular of my broadcasts. So, yeah. That's a big part of what we're doing. Mr. Phillips says, can you point a camera account at, can you point a camera at your Minecraft window? That gets dicey because sometimes windows might go in front of my Minecraft window I don't necessarily want to show. Like, there's like, safety reasons. Lagundo, thank you for rating. Lagundo, I don't know if you simulcast. I'm a big-time simulcaster. And this is my final simulcast to Twitch. So, yeah. Yeah. I was just telling the folks at home, if they've been enjoying the show, I've been simulcasting to 2 places for years and 3 places since the beginning of this year. So but the Twitch Corporation, the Amazon people, they don't want to. They're like, if you get express written permission, you can keep simulcasting it. And I'm like, awesome. How do I get that? And they're like, we don't want to talk to you about that. And I'm like, well, are you gonna say no? And they just say nothing. And so, yeah, tonight is the last night before the new terms of service go into effect. Anyway, Electra 310 tips 50. Woo! Thank you, Electra 310, who says this tip is for making me try out. I'm guessing you mean Tumblr Live. There's a typo there. Tumblr Live, even though I said I never would. So that's 2 face camera expansions. Here we go. Expand. Jost. Do. And we are going to lower the Joe opacity with that expansion now to 20%. And then we have a second expansion, because that got us 10 past our second milestone here. Expand. Jost. Do. So that is going to lower the Joe opacity now to 16%. And that put us 10 away from the next expansion before Mr. Phillips tipped 5 and wrote, looking forward to higher quality streams on YouTube with my soon-to-be faster internet service. Awesome. That is going to put us, according to the abacus here, 5 away from our next expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Toxic Glitter has posted the same question a few ways. I have not answered that on purpose, Toxic. You might think that, but I couldn't possibly comment. There's some logistical stuff with getting that set up. I have kind of a vision for how to achieve that goal, and I don't know if I can deliver that in time for tomorrow's stream, so I don't want to set expectations there. That's a long-term aspiration. Glowy Soul says, what is a simulcast? Simulcast is when you send the same video and audio to to multiple sources. Like when the president gives a speech, and they have like one camera in the White House and like one microphone, and all 3 of the major networks plus the cable news networks all show the same exact footage and voice, right? Whereas when the president gives a speech at like a college graduation, there might be 5 cameras set up and 5 different microphones on the podium, one from like ABC, NBC, CBS. That's not a simulcast. Even though it's filming the same thing, it is not a simulcast. So, for example, if you want to see an example of something that is not a simulcast of what is happening right now, you can go to my Tumblr page. I set up an example because a lot of people had the same question, Glowy Soul, earlier. So, right now, at tumblr.com/live/ a bunch of letters, I have a separate camera and microphone set up to show what is not a simulcast. This is a bad camera and a bad microphone on my phone. Not the good setup that we're going to hopefully have for Twitch in the future. Twitch is not going to be able to get the same mic and video that I'm sending everybody else. Toxic Litter isn't in this chat, says Ejo. Yeah, I know. Toxic's in the Discord. But if I'm telling somebody I'm not going to answer your question, I'm not going to repeat the question either. That amplifies it. I don't want to do that. Glowy Soul says 1 microphone versus different news microphones. Exactly. So in the White House, when the president gives a speech from the Oval Office, they only have room for 1 camera and 1 microphone and 1 audio setup in there. So they just let all of the networks get a copy of that to send to their different trucks that then rebroadcast it to like their networks, right? So right now I'm simulcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and joehills.net/live. But I am not simulcasting to Tumblr. I have a different stream going on Tumblr right now. And I'm like pawing at it. And you can't see that on this stream. Right? Does that make sense? So, yeah. So basically, Twitch is going to be forcing me to send Twitch viewers different data than everybody else from different sources. Because some people are like, Joe, just send them the same data. Just send it, put a bad filter on it or something. That's cheating. That's lazy. And honestly, they're gonna use AI or actually more likely, they're gonna have a human review the AI and go, that's the same thing, right? But if you look at this Tumblr stream right now that I just linked, and you look at this Minecraft stream right here, there is no argument to be made that these are the same broadcasts. Glowy Soul, yeah, Twitch just set the new requirement this month, starting tomorrow. So, yeah. Oops. Alexis87 says the delay on the Twitch stream versus Tumblr stream is pretty noticeable. Well, I mean, don't listen to them both. I mean, I wouldn't even recommend watching them both. It's just like, if for some reason you can't watch the good one, there will be an inferior product made available to you as a apology. Twitch will get the pity stream. It won't be from as good a computer. It won't have as expensive an audio or video setup. I'm going to do the best with what I have. Basically, this is going to be a way for me to be continuously testing my fallback equipment. But, because, like, otherwise it's just sitting around until something breaks. Yeah. I think you can kind of tell better on the Tumblr thing how hot it is in here. My air conditioner cannot keep up. The heat index in Nashville today was 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very high. So... Lagundo says, that's a level of malicious compliance I hadn't thought of. I might try that. Lagundo, see, that's what I like to call the Joe Hills difference. I don't like doing more work than necessary. I like creating as many things as possible, but I don't like wasting effort. That's part of how I create as many things as possible. However, when it comes to things that some people might describe as malicious compliance or antics, well, I'm not going to say that I'm a malicious person or that by nature I'm a compliant person, but there is a strong argument to be made that I have what the kids in English class might call an antic disposition. And so when malicious compliance and antics kind of meet, sometimes you might just see Joe Hills there. So that's where we're going. Okay, we need to go get more. We need to go get more stuff. We have more of these to grab. Cool. Definitely running low on those. Can we offload more of this stuff? Yeah, great. Aramichi, I don't know, you probably whatever your message was probably contained a word that's banned. Like, we had a bunch of bots spamming, like, promote your content by buying followers. So, like, I banned the word content. If you use a word like that, it's you might get auto-modded. Dejar says, why is your face so zoomed in? Great question, Dejar. We are actually we are $5 away from the next face camera expansion. The face camera expands every time we hit a tipping milestone. We are currently $5 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. So, Dotbit Gaming says, thank you for simulcasting to YouTube because my other device doesn't have a Twitch app. Well, that's the thing, is that's one of the reasons I want to stream to multiple services, so that people can watch my show in the convenience of whatever setup they have. I don't want to dictate to you, use this service, use that service. I want to put on a good show for people. I care about connecting to people, not devices. If you're like, my Roku doesn't have a YouTube app, well, that's okay, because I'm streaming to other services too. You know, now there is no Roku joehills.net/live app, sadly. But if you have a web browser, you can try it. Does anybody have a Roku that can test the joehills.net/live? I'm gonna post a link to that. That's my self-hosted workaround. I'm using Cloudflare Video, so I'm not completely self-hosting it, but like I'm self-hosting it in the sense that like I'm leasing bandwidth. It's a paid service. It costs me a few $100s a month to be able to host my own show for up to 1,000 viewers, and I can pay slightly more to do better. Sorry. Oh, good. Yeah, the other camera shows me wiping my mouth every time I take a drink because I don't want to like be dripping on stuff. No, don't take the trouble of getting it out of the closet. Hope will. Also, that lightning or thunder is really loud. Like there's a loud storm coming through outside. My mics usually cut out the low end of the bass. Let me real quick go to twitter.com/NashSevereWeather. Just in case I need to unplug everything frantically. In case anybody wants to check the weather at home. Hey, Technologic, thank you for the super chat of 5. That's going to get us... Well, I might as well hold up the abacus here, because that's actually a reset. Boom. So we're going to expand just. And then I'm going to check the weather. Hopefully I don't get struck by lightning in the meantime. A huge tree fell, like, a block away last night. Yesterday, Thursday afternoon? Sunday afternoon? Guess it was Thursday afternoon. What day is today? Is it Saturday or Friday? My brain is melted. It's too hot out. I did say hi to Etho. Okay. So, storms down in Williamson County. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Oh, wow. That is bad for anybody down in Brentwood and Franklin. In which case, I already apologize for having to live there. So there's some power losses in Williamson County, but it looks like probably the worst of it's outside right now. Farrah Terrier says, how many viewers do you get over at joehills.net/live? I have to open it to check. I don't have analytics running on it because I'm not nosy. It looks like 7 right now, which is fine. I have to manually open it up and look. JoeHills.net/live doesn't work on the Roku. Sorry. Okay, thank you, F. Jolif. Good to know. It is very hot. I am, like, actually, like, super warm. Okay. So, yeah, the air conditioner is not keeping up today. So I've been trying to just move as little as possible. Okay. Hey, welcome, Evanetta. Yeah, this is a Joe stream. You don't normally make it to the evening ones on account of your time zone, but thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's try... Oops. Farrah Terrier says, why do you pay so much for only a few viewers over there? Well, it's a few viewers over there now, but what happens when the Twitch stream isn't here? What happens? Did you see the YouTube policy change where they're starting to block people who use ad blockers? What happens if YouTube starts blocking people from watching my show because they're using ad blockers? I'm not going to tell people to stop using ad blockers. I'm going to say, hey, y'all have been giving money to me for years, and I'm reinvesting it into making sure that my show stays available to you. Right? That, to me, seems like a solid investment. And you don't want to be spinning this thing up. I'm not over here spinning this stuff up today. I was spinning this up 6 months ago in case something like this happened. And maybe that's not the best use of my money, but you got to keep in mind every month there's something with Twitch or YouTube. If you're doing this stuff for a living, they're constantly threatening to pull the rug out from under you. They want you to be scared. That's the real reason people are moving to Kick. It's not just that Kick has a better like rate in terms of pricing. It's because Twitch and YouTube have been threatening to pull the rug out from under us nonstop for years. Like, they've been telling people behind the scenes, like, hey, you really need to be switching to shorts if you want your channel to survive. We can't guarantee that channels that made sense 10 years ago are going to do okay in the future. The algorithm's changing. Get on the shorts train. A lot of people, like me, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we want to make. We're not here to please the algorithm. You know, I feel like the folks who have been supporting the show all this time, I need to be reinvesting, and sometimes it is a gamble. I didn't know that it would take this long for this stuff to be necessary. So yeah, maybe I should have started working on this 2 months ago instead of 6 months ago and saved a few $100s. But it was just as scary for us then. You guys just don't get to see it because usually it doesn't get this public or this far. So, yeah. So, yes, we have a fallback plan that 7 people are watching today. But it doesn't really become strictly necessary until tomorrow. So that's kind of where we are at. So, yeah. I know this isn't the fastest way to do this, but I feel like I'm getting better accuracy by going 1 block at a time. It's just easier for my brain than... If I insta-mine these, I can't always tell how many I broke, and then I get frustrated. So this is actually a lot more soothing for me, doing it this way. Chef Nutmeg says the trees are looking epic. Thank you. Yeah, this is just like setting the stage. We're still gonna do the detail pass. Lagundo says, all this stuff makes me wish there was a Nebula-like alternative for gaming creators, with how big the space is, but I don't know if there would be any way to make it work. I don't know what Nebula is, but if it's a self-hosted video solution, I will say that one of the reasons I've been experimenting with all this stuff is so that if the other hermits also needed it very quickly, like, the plan I'm on to get what I'm doing done is a few $100s a month. For like $1,200 a month, we could do so much more. Like, with the resources that the hermits have collectively, we could basically start self-hosting our streams on HermitCraft.com. You could go to HermitCraft.com/JoeHills instead of... and basically see the same quality of stream that you're seeing right now at JoeHills.net/live. This is a proof of concept to ensure that no streaming service can yank us around. Lagundo says it's mainly educational entertainment. Yeah, so that's the thing, is there's not... Everybody's like, well, the reason these streaming services have to be terrible is there's no money in hosting video for everybody. Well, that's fine. I don't need to make money hosting video for everybody. But me and my friends, like 26 people, need to be able to host our own video. And if we can do that for $1,200 to $2,000 a month, we can make more than $1,200 to $2,000 a month for us, right? Now, that doesn't solve long-term problems. That doesn't help everybody. But we are not going to let companies like Amazon be an existential threat to our existence. And we will, once we figure out how to help ourselves, we'll figure out how to and ensure our own survival. You know, this is kind of one of those put your oxygen mask on first situations. All of the things that we are learning are the sort of thing we will want to help other people with too. We are not going to let our friends drown because Amazon goes crazy. Sapphire Smith says, is this a HermitCraft specific thing? Well, what we have right now is a Joe Hills specific thing. What I'm saying is the lessons I'm learning here can be broadly applied if needed. Lagundo, so the reason my website is the WordPress 2011 theme or 2012 theme or whatever is because I was a professional WordPress developer for years. And that was one of the oldest WordPress themes that still functions on like cell phones. So if you go to joehills.net homepage here, this is the whole website itself is actually kind of a joke. Because I built a lot of very fancy, crazy sites, and then my homepage is just literally the default WordPress theme from as long ago as possible that would still work on cell phones. So, like, other developers who do WordPress stuff would see that, and they would laugh. And if they had met me at WordPress conferences, they would go, "Yeah, that's that guy." That's how he thinks. Dotbit Gaming says, I want to call BS on Jeff Bezos isn't making a profit. The thing is, you could lose money. You could lose money running a website that hosts unlimited video for everyone on the planet. I am not calling Jeff Bezos a liar. I'm not saying that Twitch isn't, you know, the big thing is, Glowy Soul says, I don't know much about this stuff, but live streams aren't popular on YouTube. I don't care. I don't need numbers. I want my audience to be able to watch my show every morning and every night that I stream. That's all I care about. I'm not trying to grow an infinite audience. I'm not worried about discoverability. I have been streaming since 2008, and I want to put on a good show for the people who want to watch my show, right? And eventually, word of mouth will get around. I go to conventions, I talk to people. What I'm saying, though, Dotbit Gaming, is I could not make a website where I gave away video bandwidth for free and make a profit. The only reason I can do this and make a profit is because the model that I'm looking at would be a few dozen people at most who are paying for the bandwidth out of their, like, Patreon and PayPal tips and stuff, right? Like, this works for people. Like, you can self-host your own streaming service if you're already HermitCraft, if you're already Empire's SMP. You don't need Twitch at that point. Now, if you're just some 12-year-old or 13-year-old who wants to play Call of Duty, which is how some people start out, you know, it's going to be a lot harder if Twitch is going to be jerks to you. But I don't have enough money. I don't see a business model to solve that problem. I don't see a business model to do that. And I think Discord is going to be the big place. I think Discord's going to be the big place for streaming for kids who don't have a big audience. I think that's gonna be how they stream to their friends. Instead of going on Twitch, I think they're gonna just stream to their local Discord servers. Hey, we got a tip rolling in. Woo! From Stephanie Hall, who says, for joehills.net for the month of July or birthday month shenanigans, you choose. Love your streams wherever they all are. Thank you, Stephanie Hall 17. So 105, that gets one full abacus and then another $5. So let's see, that's, let's go ahead and start expanding. Expand. Just. Do. Man, it takes a while. OBS really starts kind of panicking once, the camera gets this big. Then we're going to lower the Joe Pasty now to 9%. Numero dos. That was the first 20 of that 105, but now we're moving on to 40 out of that 105. Thank you again so much, Stephanie Hall, for supporting the arts and my show in particular. We are going to lower the Joe Pasty now to 6%. And then we are going to expand Jost once again with the $60 mark on that tip. If I can find my eye here. Before we turn it down to the 3% it belongs at, let's find my eye, turn it all the way back up to like 50-something%. This is how big the camera has gotten at this point. Stephanie Hall, you helped do this. Everybody else did too. Bringing it down to 3%. That was $60. Now for $80, okay, we're about to blow out the camera. So I got some bad news for y'all. We're going to have to do something a little bit different. Luckily, I got a song just for such an occasion called Webcam Expander. Webcam Expander.
Dear live stream viewers, will you watch my face? It took up your screens and began to fade. It replaced some pixels from a game you like. And this is my child, so I wanna be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. It's off color optics from a broken cam, and some other child just throws up its hands. The Joester's beat before showtime now. It's a heady job and he wants to be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander.
Alrighty, we're going to be putting the hot in the hot bar down here. Oh, wait. No, that's right. Hey everybody, it's me, the Beetlejuice. I'm down here in slot 9 putting the hot in the hot bar. As you know, Stephanie Hall, 17, tipped a little bit more than that 80. Boom, we got another 25 up here. You might say 25, is that the next milestone? No. Switching over to $50 mealstones, like mealworms. Milestones here. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Yeah, so we are now 25 away from that next milestone, because hey, look at this. I'm worth it. Anyway, here we go. We were busy collecting some leaves or something. I don't know exactly what we're working on, but yeah, we're gonna do this. Let's fly up here real quick, like a zip, and then we'll fly back down. Wow. Boom, smashing that. Collecting those leaves. Cherry blossoms. What rhymes with blossom? Only possum. A mammal that is super awesome. Evanetta tips 15 new Israeli shekels, which comes out to, I think, 6 US Alpha speeds. I'm too lazy to look it up. So that puts us 19 away from the next face camera expansion. Thank you very much, Evanetta. So here we go, collecting more of these cherry blossom leaves. Sheen Lu says, good night to the crazy American and everyone else too. So thank you very much, Shin Lu, for that. Probably should, oh no. Where's my, I was gonna say, where's my phone, just to make sure I haven't missed any PayPal tips. Because sometimes we don't get alerts through, okay, no, we got all, is it still, did the camera freeze while I did that? Sorry, because yeah, I had to go to the notifications. Oh no, we've been paused, right? That was one song. Very chill. Okay. So, how many stacks of leaves we got? Yeah, that's probably enough. None of these cables in here are arranged properly. Everything is just all out of place. Okay. My0wo says, hey, for the Roku folks, if you had web video cast receiver on your Roku and web video cast browser on your phone, you can cast joehills.net live to your Roku. So you need a web video cast receiver on the Roku and a web video cast receiver on the phone, and it is possible. Hey, so that's something to know. MDK says, final simulcast. Did you sign with someone, Joe? No! Twitch decided on their own that they don't want my simulcast. They said, Joe, your simulcast is garbage. Throw it on the ground. And I said, no. I want to simulcast to Twitch. And they said, only if you get express written permission. So I said, hi, I'm Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'd like express written permission to stream simultaneously to Twitch and YouTube. And they said nothing! They said nothing! They do not care for me! They do not care for my stream, so they will receive no simulcast in compliance with their request. That's what they asked for, and so it shall be. Meanwhile, over here, we got 10 coming in via Cordelia, who says, thanks for making Obsidian Mining almost bearable. Loving the stream. So let's go ahead and get Cordelia's tip on here. Boom, that gets us 9 away from the next Face Gamer expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/showhills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. Ender Ninja says, Joe is being scary again. You might think that, but I couldn't possibly comment. Let's see. What did we come back in here for? We needed... I feel like I needed something. I don't know. Oh, green pain. Thank you. Thank you. I was trying to get Stephanie Hall's request in here. Stephanie had requested I find a green pain to put in... Oh, no. Do I not have any? Maybe. Here we go. Where's my... No! This is not my best plan. Meanwhile, we got another tip rolling in from Robert, who tips 6. Thank you very much, Robert, for that. That is going to put us 3 away from our next Beetlejuice expansion, who says, being amazing, even though I've just met you tonight, I had a really hard time with family, and you've cheered me up massively. Thank you. Well, Robert, I appreciate you supporting the arts and my show in particular. It's folks like you who choose to just give, no matter how much. Like, even a single dollar would be, like, way more than I would make from somebody sitting and watching, like, a whole bunch of my videos. Like, you can get thousands of views on a YouTube short, and they will write you a check for a nickel. It's ludicrous. So, somebody... throwing a few bucks my way like that, especially if you haven't seen the stream before, really appreciated. But I'm glad that you see, like, the value of, like, folks like you sending a few bucks at a time are why I can self-host my own video. They're why I don't need Twitch telling me what to do, or YouTube. Fake Zircon says, do they actually pay out the nickel? They do. It's added to, like, so I get, once a month I get, like, a check from YouTube with all of the YouTube Super Chats, and then a very tiny amount of advertising revenue on it. So, yeah, let's take down the set up stream now sign, because I think we're set up. Oh, yeah. And not only is YouTube ramping up the ads on their end, but they're starting to threaten people who run ad blockers, which, in my opinion, is immoral. Let people do what they want with their own computers. They've been doing some preliminary testing of a system that detects ad blockers and then stops sending you video data, which is why it's more important than ever, even if you're not watching on Twitch, that you bookmark that joehills.net/live. So if you have problems with YouTube, you have problems with Twitch, you can see my self-hosted ad-free version of the stream. I know it might not work as well on every device. It's a proof of concept that I have been working on for a few months now. But it proves the concept that I can... I mean, I outlived Ustream. I outlived Twitch, or Justin TV. Justin became Twitch or whatever. I'm going to outlive Twitch TV. Going to outlive YouTube. My first video I posted online was on Google Videos. That's gone now. It became, turned into YouTube. When YouTube gets turned into Microsoft Tube or whatever, too, like, I'll be outliving them. Outlive Mixer. I'm here to make a good show for cool people. And y'all aren't going to stop being cool just because Twitch got selfish and greedy. Or YouTube got greedy. And so, if cool people still are out there, I'm going to keep putting on a good show. That just makes sense to me. /live says offline for me. It takes, like, 15 seconds sometimes to, like, boot up. Because joehills.net/live it's using the Cloudflare distributed video network. If there's not a server in your region that's currently repeating the video, it will spin up a server in your region. So, Evan Netta, you're in a time zone where a lot of people aren't watching right now. So, if you actually open open the page and keep it open for like 15 seconds, and if it still says offline, let me know. But, so the thing is, if a second person from your region tried to load it, after you loaded it, it would be much faster. This is part of what makes this affordable. Like, affordable is still a few hundred a month, but there's a lot of magic happening behind the scenes to save money. Welcome, Nico and Indy. Glad you could join us. YouTube has not been around as long as it might seem. You're absolutely correct. If you're somebody who makes videos who isn't prepared to outlive YouTube, you're not necessarily preparing yourself for the future. La da 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 da. Yep. It's kind of like, you know, when Google bought Blogger, you know? Like, some people decided it was better for them to self-host their own blogs. You know? That's joehills.net, self-hosted blog. If I need, joehills.net could be where I post my streaming videos as well. Like when a new HermitCraft video comes out, that could be where the edited shows go too. Like, all of these things are things I have prepared for. They're not necessarily things I'm doing right now. But I want to assure everyone here who has been supporting my show for the last... Let's see, if you started watching my streams back in 2008, that's what, 15 years? Started watching my YouTube videos back in 2011. It's 12 years. If you've been watching my stuff for a long time, and especially if you've ever given me any money or support in any way, I have been preparing and planning and future-proofing, and you do not need to stress about me outlasting whatever nonsense YouTube has. And I am not a selfish person, and if you enjoy the work of my friends, you don't need to worry about them outlasting it either. Because every plan that I have set up and tested, everything that I'm prepared to work around, I'm completely ready to help them do the same. Like I said, the only people that I can't really help are, like, I can't create a website that hosts video for an unlimited number of people all over the world. I can't do something that scales like YouTube or Twitch, but I can do something that scales for a few dozen people. Because, like, once you start letting random people upload stuff, you start having to transcode way more footage behind the scenes. You start having to have more moderation and copyright review. It's just a nightmare. Stephanie Hall says, any updates on the immigration or marriage process? No. I mean, basically, from filing, it could be 14 months. Like, we won't hear anything unless they have a problem. So in some ways, no news is good news. They'll either approve it or let us or ask us for something. But they won't say, hey, here's where you are in the queue. Like, they sent us a message saying, we received your application. Here's a receipt for the, you know, very expensive filing fee. So, I am hoping to see my fiance. Once you file for a fiance visa like this, your fiance can't enter the country again until everything goes through. So we're hoping to meet up in Toronto sometime this fall when my kid's on fall break. Because Because yeah, it's really challenging being apart for so long. Let's see. Cordelia says Joe is essentially the YouTube version of an apocalypse prepper, but not the kind that wants to shoot their neighbors, but a community support prepper. I mean, you're not wrong. I saw all this stuff happen with webcomics so many times where people let other people host their comics and then it all blew up. So yeah, I'm not naive about this. Hey, Asteri, thank you for tipping 10. We were 3 away from our next face camera expansion. Now we are 7 past. Asteri says, I am beyond excited for the Discord movie night. Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts on it. Have a few bucks as thanks for giving me the chance to share all my insights on the film. Hey, well, Asteri, thank you so much for getting us across that $50 milestone. It's all cumulative, right? So like that $6 we got before, and like every little bit adds up on the abacus, and then we say, hey, it's time for me to expand. Dee-da-dee-da-dee, dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee-dee. Okay, so let's see, where was I? My brain. Oh yeah. I was gonna talk about the Patreon. They charge you the day you sign up and again on the 1st of the month. So don't sign up for my Patreon tonight. Wait until tomorrow. But patreon.com/Joe Hills. If you want to join the Discord, that's where we have 3 chats running right now: Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. We also have so $5 level on Patreon gets you Discord access. $10 level gets you Minecraft server access. We got a few servers. We got a create mod server. We've got a vanilla cutting edge bleeding edge server, like no mods. Like the day the new jar comes out, it updates. Some people are like, I hate playing on public servers because they don't update until paper updates. It's like, well, I don't use paper. Well, what about fabric? No. Yeah. It's just like, that's the way we're doing. So, Tamunwaga says, why is this the final simulcast? Is Joe going full Twitch? I wonder why he picked YouTube. Twitch changed their terms of service. They won't let me send them the same data I'm sending everyone else. I'm 100% happy. They basically said you need express written permission to simulcast to Twitch the same show you're sending everywhere else. And I said, okay, well, how do I get written permission? And they won't answer me. I've asked I tried using their website, which was a nightmare and got nowhere. I tried using Twitch multiple times. I don't know how to do it. So basically, Twitch kind of fired me. They said we don't want simulcasters here. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are there. Razor Randed says, if you're interested and have time while in Toronto, let me know. We can do lunch. I would like to do some meetups when I'm in Toronto, Canada. From a tax standpoint, that's really good for making certain elements of the trip businessy. However, I need to look into what it's going to cost me to get working papers as an entertainer in Canada. So, like, if you appear at a convention in Canada or something as an American, you have to get, like, certain, like, working visa. And so, if I was doing, like, a fan meetup that I announced on Twitter, I would probably have to get a similar license. So, I'm still looking into what the exact details of that are. So, I can't announce anything. If I find out it's going to be, like, $1,200, I'm not going to be able to do that. But, like, if it's less than $300, I'll probably just bite the bullet, because, like, I don't go to Canada very often, and I would want people from Toronto to be able to do stuff. The other thing is, at that point, I can stream from Canada, because I can't stream from Canada if I don't have the working papers either. Because you might say, Joe, who's going to know that you're streaming from Canada? Well, streaming generates a lot of evidence, and streaming from Canada generates evidence you're in Canada. So, yeah, I'm looking into what the laws are. Because I don't want to be banned from Canada. Like everyone's favorite hermit, Scar. Yeah. Lord Piecrust tips 10 and says, let's get that Abacus going for your last simulcast. Thank you very much, Lord Piecrust. Now, in fairness, this is not the last simulcast in general. This is the last simulcast to Twitch. I'm still going to be simulcasting to YouTube and joehills.net/live. My YouTube contract does not prevent me from simulcasting. It's only the Twitch terms of service change. So it's the last Twitch, YouTube, and joehills.net/live simulcast. Nevin Netta says it still isn't working for you. That's interesting. I wonder if that's maybe my video provider is, like, blocked in your country or something. Lakshmi13 says, did you learn that from the podcast, Joe? Yeah, there's a podcast, the Imp and Skizzleman podcast, where Scar talks about how he took a picture of him winning a bunch of medals in a Canadian swim meet, and how he joked that he wasn't allowed back in Canada because he won too many swimming medals. It's a joke. It's not a real thing. But, meanwhile, Hello Neighbor tips 10 and says, let's keep it going. Woo! Thank you very much, Hello Neighbor, for supporting the arts and my show in particular. That gets us 13 away. No, 20. Sorry, that gets us 23 away from the next Face Gamer expansion milestone. Okay. Well, Evanetta, at least you'll hopefully be able to keep watching on YouTube, because yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if that's a temporary downtime thing for your region, because like I said, you're watching in the middle of the night there, so they might just be doing maintenance, or that might be like a long-term policy thing, like if your government's told ISPs like, hey, don't serve video from this service because we don't like some of the people that post video there. Like, yeah, when I was doing, I don't think I want to tell that story. But, yeah. Some governments are very opinionated about web filtering. So, is where I'm going to leave it. Hey, whoa, we got another tip rolling in. From Pastry, tip in 25, who says, continuing the expand. Joe, well, we were 23 away. Now we are 2 past. So, here we go. Expand, Beetlejuice. D. So, there we go. Okay. Let's see. I feel like we're in a pretty good place here. We still got some stuff to do over there. Mind of Me says, I know from professional wrestling podcasts, a lot of them have gotten in trouble crossing the border without a work visa. Yeah, if you're doing any sort of performances, there are special visas for entertainers. And, like, me streaming from my hotel room would probably qualify. I probably wouldn't get caught unless I also posted on Twitter that I was doing a meetup in Toronto. But I'd rather just do all this stuff right. You know, because I want to have a good relationship with the Canadian government in case, because like Vintage Beef has been talking about doing some TCG stuff in the future. The TCG is intended to move the hermits into your neighborhoods. We want to be hanging out at small gaming stores in small towns. We want to be going to small conventions. Like right now, if you want to see us, you kind of have to go to like, you know, Minecon Anaheim or Minecon Las Vegas. You have to go to PAX in Boston or Philadelphia. But my goal for 2024 is to really start going like to a bunch of little places all over. And yeah, angering a government now is bad. So we're not going to do that. We are going to be smart about this. Like I said, so this is the sort of thing, I've been streaming since 2008. That's 15 years. I want to keep streaming until I retire. I've been going to conventions since college. I wasn't necessarily tabling or performing there, but like now, but I got into that over time. I want to do that until I retire, maybe even after I retire. Like after I retire, in some way, it's easier to go to more conventions. Um, it's actually part of what we're going to be talking about in this upcoming YouTube video I was going to film about this. Asteri says, I doubt a custody judge would approve of you violating immigration laws. That's actually another good point, is me demonstrating a flagrant lack of regard for border controls would not help me in any sort of ongoing or surprise litigation about custody. Lord Piecrust tips 5 and says, just make sure to bring a tribute of maple syrup. Wait, like I bring that from home and then I pour it out when I get across the border? Because I'm like, I'll drink the good stuff here. Chloe the Great and Powerful says, luckily it's very easy for an American citizen to get a short-term work visa in Canada. Yeah, it doesn't look that hard from my preliminary research, but I haven't done all the legwork yet. That's one of my big projects for this month. I kind of needed to see how things went. So basically, when I was doing that 10-day trip to Wisconsin, all the streaming I was doing from like the road and the different hotels and stuff was testing for like upcoming conventions travel and this Toronto trip. And like if the travel streaming setup was a complete nightmare, then I wasn't even going to bother applying for the visa to work in Toronto. But since it went well, it does make sense. Robert Sim says, I wish we got some TCG cards, the Dosh at the time, but I know nowhere near. Where do you live roughly, Robert? Could you give me like a rough region of where you live? Chloe the Great and Powerful says, when will you be in Toronto? Mid-October. I love going to conventions. I love just talking to people who have similar interests because it's an excuse to talk to people. I like talking to people in general. I'm a very talkative person, if you haven't noticed. Surprise! And so, yeah, conventions are great because everybody's kind of there for similar reasons. And, you know, even if you, like, strike up a conversation with somebody like, oh, man, I just saw some, great panel about this. Have you seen anything cool this weekend? If they're like, I'm sorry, I'm really stressed out right now. I don't want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But, like, 99% of the time, if I start a conversation about, like, a panel I just saw and ask if they've been to anything cool, they've been to something cool, and it might be something I've never heard of. And then instead of being like, oh, I'm not interested in that, I've never heard of that, I'm like, wait, what is this? I've never even heard of this. Like, right? Like, it's a cool way to learn stuff. But one thing I want to do is I want to be able to live stream people challenging me at the TCG. So the reason I brought the travel crafting setup to my brother's house to stream crafts with Cleo was because that's the same setup we would use for live streaming TCG card games from conventions. And so I want to actually have little tokens, like paper, cardboard pogs that would have like a print of me with like some TCG cards and a prepare to duel kind of pose. And that I could give out to people who challenged me. If Ren estimates around $30, don't know what currency. $30 for what? Oh, I don't know the final pricing on the cards. I have been told that some people announced stuff, but I was never told those prices were final, so I don't want to repeat them. And I also don't necessarily know what currency they were talking about because they're not all from the same country as me. Robert Sims says, I live in Scotland in the UK. Oh, well, good news. Like, my long-term plan is once my daughter goes to college to buy a space in Edinburgh. So I will be streaming from Scotland, hopefully with a space like that I could use as a black box theater and also host guests during like Fringe. That would be like my dream, like if everything goes right. Because my fiance knows a bunch of people who perform at Fringe. And so, if I can take what I'm doing here and then build a studio / small theater there after my daughter goes to college. We would actually be able to host events and stuff there. I would be going to local events in Scotland. Realistically, I probably won't get to Scotland for a few years because once my fiance's immigration paperwork goes through, she can't return. She can't leave America for like 2 years until they give her a green card. So it's a whole separate thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, long term, Scotland is the best place to come meet me. I'm gonna be, and by the time I get there, I'm hopefully gonna have enough money to like build a place for people to perform that I will perform at, and that people can come see me live and stuff. Yeah, Darby said, yeah, Badger's family will have to visit here for the first couple of years. It sucks. The immigration process is very challenging here. Stephanie Hall, on a lighter note, writes, the art for your collector's card was amazing, so spot on. Yeah, those go on sale tomorrow. Let me see. I'm going to post that art for anybody who hasn't seen it. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, I pinned that tweet. Yeah, these go on, the pre-orders go on sale tomorrow. Yeah, I can't move now because of custody. I have to stay in the United States until my daughter goes to college. So for the next 8 years or so, I'm going to be definitely living here. Ideally, what I want to do is I want to spin up an American merch and shipping operation. Have an assistant manager for that, who I will train and ultimately will take over full management of the Nashville branch when Badger and I move to Scotland. And then I'm going to open up kind of a European merch and shipping branch over there. This is very long term. This is very long term. But like I said, I started streaming in 2008. I've been doing it for 15 years. I started doing YouTube in 2011. That's 12 years. If I'm not setting like 8 to 10 year goals for myself, I'm not planning ahead, right? Because like if it wasn't for the custody situation, I probably would have just moved to the United Kingdom to be with my fiance already. But because of the split custody situation, it's just easier on everybody if we stay in the U.S. right now. The Scottish border is pretty big, the XKZ. I don't think you've really doxed yourself. I am looking at you. Yeah, hi, Evil Cat Girl Wizard on Tumblr. I'm like, man, they're writing a lot over there. I've been kind of just paying attention to the other chats because this is not like one of the. This was just like a bad example of what the difference between a simulcast and a separate broadcast. We have 2 broadcasts going on here. We have 4 places you can watch it. 3 of them are a simulcast, and 1 of them is just its own thing. Hi, 8Kasu. Yeah, you're being perceived. Corgi Chow says, if this is a bad example, I'm honestly excited for what's going to become of Twitch. Yeah. Hey, Sammy Higgins in the Twitch chat. Howdy. You know, the thing is, though, the Scotland, my grandmother was Scottish, and she always dreamed of living in, like, an independent Scotland one day, and it didn't happen within her own lifetime. And, you know, Sammy says, are you not going to stream on Twitch anymore? I've been out of the loop. Okay, great question, Sammy. Yeah, for those of you just joining us, I cannot simulcast to Twitch anymore because Twitch created a policy change that says no simulcasting to Twitch after July 1st, 2023, without prior written permission. And they announced this policy a few weeks ago. I've been trying to get prior written permission, and they won't give it to me. So I am not going to be able to simulcast to Twitch anymore. I am over on Tumblr, though, right now, demonstrating the difference between a simulcast and 2 different broadcasts of the same event. Here's that Tumblr link for anybody who's curious. So, like, for example, when the Oval Office isn't very big. So when the president broadcasts from the Oval Office, they set up one camera and one microphone, and all the news networks all use the same video and the same audio feed. The radio stations use the same audio as the television stations. That's considered a simulcast because it's the same source going out to multiple outlets, right? So I cannot use the same microphone, the same camera, the same video capture to send to Twitch right now that I'm sending everywhere else. In the future, I will still be streaming to Twitch, but it will be from a different camera and a different microphone, and it won't have the first-person game like you're seeing here, right? Nepotus says, are you going to continue streaming to Tumblr regularly? No, because it's not international, probably. This is just a proof of concept. Proof of concept. Good Times says this is really weird. Corgi Chow says I normally watch on YouTube, but I couldn't not see what absurdity would happen here when he started the broadcast. I mean, yeah. The big problem with Tumblr Live is I can't use my phone during the stream, and like when I check to make sure tips haven't come in, I have to pause that and then scroll down here and then reopen it, and that's not ideal. So XKZ, stop being annoying. Whatever you're doing, if you're annoying Evan Netta, you're probably doing something wrong. Don't harass the regulars. I'm glad that you're a new viewer. You're excited to be here, but yeah. You've fixed yourself several times in chat. Stop ignoring you. I have no idea what you mean. Ejo Studio says, for people attempting to establish themselves with a few orders of magnitude fewer subscribers and without the resources to self-host, what would that sort of thing look like? I mean, I think it's going to kind of look like the way that people used to host their own webcomics. You're going to have another job, or ask fans to send you money, or you could maybe find somebody with an existing site who's willing to host you. But like basically the without resources to self-host is you're going to have to get the resources to buy the tools. Right now the tools are you need a computer or a console you can stream from and a microphone, and the list of tools is going to get a little longer. What? Okay. I don't know what this guy's doing, so I just banned him. It's Tumblr Live doesn't work in Ohio. Okay. So, but yeah, Ejo Studios, I cannot solve the problem of providing resources for everyone who wants to post video on the internet. I can only solve the problem of providing resources for people like myself and my friends who have already built a business around it. But like, if I couldn't afford to self-host like this, I wouldn't go take a bad contract with Kick. I would go back to my day job. I think the new rule goes into effect Pacific time. All of Twitch's stuff is based on Pacific time. But yeah, I mean, so what I would tell anybody is what I would tell myself, which is just find a way to make it work. And a lot of that is going to be don't quit your day job. Go back to your day job. Like, but I mean, also though, if you want to stream video to just your friends, there didn't used to be things like Discord. So I'd also say you don't have to broadcast to the whole internet to practice streaming. If you're just practicing or just getting established, post it on Discord to the people that are already part of your Discord community, because they're probably going to be your first audience anyway, right? Like, that's kind of how I'm seeing it, you know? There's going to be ways to share video, like via, heck, even Zoom and Microsoft Teams, you can pipe video in from OBS. If your school has a Microsoft Teams license for everybody, you can stream via Microsoft Teams in an open Teams meeting on your university network. Use whatever resources you have. You're making the assumption that having no resources is common. Having no money isn't the same as having no resources. If you're a student, which is one of the most common groups of people with no money, you might have access to all sorts of things through your educational institution that you wouldn't otherwise. Can I post the web link again to the Tumblr? I guess. Book Fanatic says, I had to add my birthday to Tumblr before Tumblr Live would work. It worked on Safari on my iPad, but not in the app. Oh, that's an interesting problem. But here's the other thing, too, is like, you know, if all of the places that you could post video for free on the internet dried up, you would still have people out there who are saying, we can't host all the video, but we want to host what we can, right? So, for example, I don't think that if if Twitch and YouTube went away, I don't think Janie Laney would let Black Minecraft die. Janie's very well connected, knows a lot of people who could help her. Like, I would be willing to volunteer all the technical information I have. All the stuff that I've been talking about, like, I could share with the Hermits. I could share with her. People could kick in money for the hosting costs. And, you know, Janie could help make sure that people in her community still have the ability to post videos and streams and things like that, right? Why did I not say hi to Etho? I said hi to Etho when he joined the game way at the top. Etho joined the game like 2 hours ago, and I greeted him then. He left and rejoined like twice, but you don't greet people like every time, except for Score, because he feels bad if you don't greet him every time. Mike Deadman says, I had to add my birthday to my Tumblr to follow. Okay, interesting. I am playing a video game. No, I'm not just sitting here. Yeah, I'm on HermitCraft. It's a Minecraft. So, anyway. Yeah, like I said, I can't solve the problem of video on the internet for every living human being. I don't know if that's a financially viable thing to give away for free running on ad revenue, and I don't want to try. But I can make sure that the artists that I work closely with have the tools they need. Chamomile says, I wonder if YouTube and Twitch went away completely. Would people make their own mini streaming platforms hosting a few dozen people instead of thousands? That's basically what I've got. Right now I'm just using it for myself as a proof of concept, but I could scale what I'm doing up to 10 simultaneous streamers if I needed to. And about 1,000 simultaneous viewers. That's with like what I'm currently paying per month. If I pay more, I could scale it up further. The limiting factor is how much money do I want to spend on this when it's just a proof of concept. But, yeah, no. I am absolutely ready to do that. Okay, that part's a little awkward, but whatever. Hey, we got another tip rolling in. Let's see who it's from. Moon Roses for You. Tips 10 says, Hi, Joe. First time donating. trying to figure out if my partner and I want to join your Patreon or if we'll just try to make it donating a habit. I mean, that really depends on your personal preferences. Like, I basically get the same cut from PayPal as I get from Patreon. It's like a tiny, tiny difference. So either one is equally good for me. If you join on Patreon, though, you do get access to the Discord at $5 a month and the Minecraft server at $10 a month. Do keep in mind, though, that because Patreon will charge you the day you sign up and the first of the month, you might want to wait to sign up until tomorrow at least. But yeah, a lot of the regulars in the chat are also in the Discord chat. So yeah, the Discord chat has the live chat for like this. Also, we occasionally do events that don't scale to the entire Twitch and YouTube audience. So, for example, Quinn and I have on July 16th, I believe, a double feature coming up of The Dish, everyone's favorite Australian film about the moon landing, followed by The Shawshank Redemption. And so what we do is we get together 15 minutes before the first movie, kind of have a little chat and voice chat on the Discord, and then we switch over to text chat during the film. So nobody's talking over the film. Not Quinn and I, not the other viewers. Nobody's in voice chat during the film. You just use text chat to, like, talk about it as they go. Sammy says, strange pairing. Yeah, the thing is, Quinn hadn't seen Shawshank Redemption yet, and we've been talking about trying to see it as soon as possible. But we also wanted to watch The Dish because it's close to July 20th. Anyway, so then after the first movie, after The Dish, then we will jump back in voice, talk about The Dish for a little bit. Then we will go watch Shawshank Redemption in the text chat. Everybody has to get their own copy of the video. I am not streaming the video. That's part of why we don't do this on Twitch, because a bunch of people would randomly wander in and be like, "What? Where do I get the video?" And it's like, well, you had to rent it, or buy it, or get it from your library. Sammy says, I thought we were going to do Oh Brother Where Art Thou, though. That's in the queue. That's in the queue. Don't worry, Sammy. I definitely want to do Oh Brother Where Art Thou. But we can only justify a double feature. We can only justify a double feature for this month. Also, one of the reasons we decided to do a double feature was because it's like it's a challenge for Quinn to get across town traffic-wise sometimes. So like it's like, well, let's go ahead and just do the drive-in movie thing where we have kind of a lighter first movie and then a more serious second film. And then that way, too, the California folks, like yourself, Sammy, you don't necessarily have to wake up. If you're like, I don't want to watch The Dish. Also, it's more likely that the first film would be a film that I've possibly watched with the group before. Like a repeat. So we try to always do a new second one. So this way, though, we got kind of something where even if people can't catch both films, they can hopefully catch at least one. Fake Zircon says, I've been thinking about joining the Patreon just for the hardcore server. Yeah, the Everstorm server I run every month. We change the rules up all the time, but the fundamentals are it's always a thunderstorm. It's always hardcore. You get one life, and then the newsletter for that month will have updates about how people died. It's a lot of fun. Have fun with your wife. Cat girl. Okay. Do 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 do. But yeah, if we did Oh Brother Where Art Thou, we would probably do Oh Brother Where Art Thou as the opening of a double feature. And then for the second movie... So one of the problems... This is actually one of the things that really kind of killed the momentum for me of the movie watching streams. Is I always wanted to do super, like super weird, rare stuff. And other people were like, Joe, we want to do Beetlejuice. And I'm like, you can watch Beetlejuice whenever. When are you ever going to watch Rubber about a psychic tire? Like a automobile tire. No, we gotta do these weird movies, right? So part of it too is we're kind of piloting, like, in some ways The Shawshank Redemption is the more famous movie than The Dish, but The Dish is the more feel-good one. But like when I look at the old list of the movies, we had an old list from back in the day in like one of the zones of archived rooms where I was like, here's all the movies I want to watch. Does anybody want to watch them? And a lot of people were like, oh, absolutely not. These are too weird for me. And I'm like, well, maybe if we like watch Beetlejuice or Oh Brother Where Art Thou to get people in the door. So like, for example, movies that I wanted to watch was like Jodorowsky's Dune, Heaven Can Wait. Heaven Can Wait was one where I was like, oh, this is an amazing movie that not enough people have seen. And like only 3 people were like, I want to watch that. I'm like, no. Nobody's seen this. 29th Street, about the first New York State Lottery. Absolutely amazing. Almost nobody's seen it. 1 thumbs up on that. Right? So, whereas I put Beetlejuice, 19 thumbs up on that. Psycho Gorman, an incredible film, 2 thumbs up. So if we put Beetlejuice first and then Psycho Gorman next, right? Like there's a way to do this where people can still peace out if they want for the second movie. Mike Deadman says, I love Heaven Can Wait. I know! Heaven Can Wait was a film that was ahead of its time. It was arguably, a lot of the things about the way billionaires live their lives, they're kind of living in the future, right? And also, the guy being like a fitness nut, the main character being a fitness nut, he was kind of living in the future too, where he's constantly picking fights with people about stuff that they think is absolutely bonkers in like 1973 or whatever when the film came out. Like, you shouldn't smoke so much, you shouldn't drink so much soda, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, trying to encourage people to be generally healthy in ways that are like basically like now fundamentals of like, yeah, we all know this. We might not all do this, but we all know this. Like, everybody thinks he's like an insane moon person. There's so many jokes that are just like hilarious because the guy was ahead of his time. Yeah, 29th Street was intense, Ice Pick. It is an incredible film, but it's very hard to find, unfortunately. I'll have fun in France, Forcinist Gaming. But yeah. Yeah, so I had a bunch of movies on this. Like, the movies I was kind of the most excited to watch, like 29th Street, Psycho Gorman. I just didn't get a lot of good positive feedback on it, and I kind of lost my momentum for the movie watching series. I think this double feature thing will fix it. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else is going on in the world. Okay. Stephanie Hall, it sounds like that might be a problem with your internet at this point. Yeah, I don't know. If you're having trouble with all the streaming services and I'm having no drop frames, that might be something on that end. Also, if we get everybody used to doing double features, I wanted to do Lawrence of Arabia. Because it's really good. It's just long. I know you might be like, I don't have time to watch Lawrence of Arabia. But if we do a few double features where people come hang out, like... Oh, yeah, there's so many amazing jokes. So many amazing jokes. And, Heaven Can Wait. But that's the thing, though, is I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I'm not going to intentionally choose a bad movie. I might choose a movie where you're like, oh, I could see why somebody as weird as Joe likes this, but maybe it's not for me. Okay. That's part of what you're paying for with the Discord. That's part of the difference between just general tipping for supporting the show and, like... How much weird Joe Hill's nonsense do you want to buckle in for? Is kind of the question, I guess, if that makes sense. Alrighty, Lord Pycrust. I'm probably not going to run too long myself. It is super hot here in Tennessee. And, yeah, I am getting very warm. Lord of War screening. Yeah, Lord of War needs to go on the list. Especially because we just gave that guy back to Russia as part of that basketball player trade. Okay. Yeah, we're going to wrap up at 10:30. Let's go ahead and do a last call for tips. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Yeah, the heat index today in Nashville was 115 Fahrenheit. Not 115, 110. Sorry, I was misreading. Ferreterier was talking about down in Alabama, it was 115. Hopefully that clears up by the end of the week, because I'm going to be down in Alabama for PlayOnCon. If you're not already going to PlayOnCon, they're out of hotel rooms, but if you live in the area, you might be able to drive in there. You know, you can get a badge and drive in from home every day. PlayOnCon is held in Columbiana, Alabama, which is about an hour away from Birmingham. You'll just be visiting Huntsville. Okay, cool. How hot is it here? It was something like 97 or something like that before the dew point, and then with the dew point, the heat index was like 110. It was not go outside weather. I mean, I still did a bunch of stuff today. I was out and about driving around, but I wasn't like spending a lot of time like outside of air conditioning. Wally Spider, thank you for the raid. I am about to wrap up my stream on the half hour, so that's 5 minutes from now, but I do appreciate it. When can we expect the next Joe Hill's HermitCraft episode? I don't know. I'm working on it, but I'm kind of in editing jail right now, which is not great. I have a lot of footage to go through and some replay mod stuff to splice in, and it's slowing me down. But I've also just got back from a 10-day road trip, and so, like, I'm realizing there's a bunch of stuff around my apartment that I have to deal with, like not having food, and so yeah. It's in my queue. I am working on it, but it's not going fast. Sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. It is getting late here. I need to start winding up. We're going to go ahead and kill the Tumblr stream first, so that way I can use my phone to see if other tips roll in. But have a good night, Tumblr. Bye! How do I end this stream? Okay. I got 5 diamonds. I don't know what those are. What are diamonds? Okay. Well, I don't know what to do about that. If anybody knows what Tumblr diamonds are, I'm about to wrap up. Next stream, I'll be simulcasting to YouTube and joehills.net/live. I as of July 1st, which is soon, I will not be allowed to simulcast to Twitch. Electra310 says if you get like tens of thousands of diamonds, they're worth real money. I got 5. Forest Squills, I'm glad you're enjoying the HermitCraft Season 9 playlist. Don't worry, there are more HermitCraft 9 episodes in production. I'm just not... I spent a lot of time today cutting cardboard and duct taping air filters to box fans because the air quality's been pretty bad here from the smoke. So it's like I'm spending a lot of time just like making sure that like I can function. But like having invested that time, like the box fans seem to be working pretty well now. I'm hoping to get back into like spending a lot of time editing tomorrow. I don't really have anything planned tomorrow except editing and then the stream at 8:30 p.m. I got some studio setup stuff I have to do for the second stream setup. But on the whole, like, yeah. Okay. So, anyway. We are going to go ahead and wrap up. Okay, so. Oh, I should have looked at it in the dark. Dang it. It's fine. It'll look better later. Okay. Just as a reminder, the HermitCraft TCG card does go on sale tomorrow at creocards.com. This is not technically a sponsored stream because that's like a product I made with them. So it's like me saying, hey, I got a new book out. Check it out at Barnes & Noble. So, yeah, let me see if I can find a link to their announcement about... They're saying Collector's Edition goes live July 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's 9 Central. Okay. I'm going to post that. Okay. So, let's see who we can raid. Let's see who we're following on Twitch. Untitled broadcast. Ooh. We're gonna go... Okay, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here is our raid message. Manu is... I told him to try and set up... he's like, my theater, it's not ready. And I was like, just... Everybody loves you, Manu. Why don't we just go over there and have, like, a lo-fi acoustic stream? And he didn't seem too keen on that, but I'm looking at what he's got on there, and it looks like that now. It looks like this is the Manu lo-fi acoustic stream I pitched him. And if it's a failure, that's on me. Don't blame Manu. So go over there, say hello to Manu, MPT3K. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.